Okay, this should be okay by now.
Yes, I think we have some images right now. Perfect. Great. Ronald, yeah, you already did the introduction, but maybe a quick recap on
Yes.
what we're looking at tonight. Sorry for the technical difficulties that we've had. We're trying our best, of course, but Ronald, take it away.
Yeah, so we had a fresh install, and that's why there was no automatic feed to YouTube just yet, but that's solved. So we are live, and we are looking at an evening full of racing. We have in total 4 races to go, 2 heats, and then we have the consolation race and the feature race as the final race of the evening. Currently, qualifying is underway. It's almost done. Everybody had 3 laps to put a time in. It's a lone qualifying, so that means you are alone on track, and the qualifying will decide the order in the heat races, and then from the heat races, iRacing will pick and set up the final 2 races. So we are going for the first heat already. Everybody is gridding. So let's have a look at the grid if iRacing is going to show us this.
Of course. Yeah, it's always waiting with iRacing before the official results come in. That's the only way we can show them to you guys. But provisional poll right now should be for Baba. And the rest of the field was pretty closely tied together as well. There it is. We have Eden Baba on pole position, followed by Guillaume, then Hermans. Eilebroek will take 4th position, followed by Gorle, Laurès de Pape Romano, Gimlevich, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, Lavagnini, Delforge, Warnier, to complete our first section. And then followed by de Boever, de Vlieger, Gini, Roels, Agnese, Dillins, Baes, Kumbo, Tiere, Liebert, Mailleux, Musin. And then we're already in the second class. That's the difference between the green and the blue. We have the Pro and the AMs, of course. And on the final position, we have Simon. Does that mean because I think we had a bigger grid, Ronald, or am I mistaken?
Yeah, but it's because we have, in total, we have 55 people,
yeah,
but
okay.
it's divided in 2 splits, so 2 heats, and that's why, So
that's why we need Ronald here, of course, who also is part of the organization, by the way, people. I am just the guy who talks between the races, but Ronald is the organizer, or one of the organizers for this first time competition for the Formula 4.
And we are getting ready for the first race. Lights are coming on. And away we go. Looks like a good start by Aaron Baba as well, taking the lead from pole into the first corner.
Yeah, seems like there's no big issues here. I like that, Ronald. Seems like the standard is pretty high so far. We've had a lot of dancing for position. The guys are sorting themselves out a bit, but of course, Zolder getting... Yeah, it's not the biggest or the broadest track there is around. And of course, then coming up towards that chicane, we see a move at the front. I think that's our second position. Putting it down the inside and taking that second position. That's Hermans on Guillaume, taking the second position in the chicane. And maybe Guillaume will lose that third position, as well as we see Eilebroek taking it down on the inside. No, not at this point in time.
Yeah, I was a bit silent because I was praying for a clean first corner. So far, so good. We're not losing too many people. I think we had some people who had an off track, but all in all, a fairly nice start of the evening. And I hope it will continue this way. And indeed, a great battle going on in front. Very close to each other.
After that first lap, maybe we can have a quick look at the standings. Our pole sitter will remain in first place, and then we have Hermans taking the second place. But now we see that Guillaume takes the inside and tries to retain that second position. Hermans taking over again. These guys will be scrapping all day, I think. Together with Alenbroek, we will try to take some advantage out of this fight. Oh, Ronald, this is going to be tense.
Yes, Renzo also trying to improve his position, trying to pass Florent Guillaume, but Guillaume is defending very well before the chicane. And all this makes that Aaron Baba is leading, and he's in the opportunity to pull a little gap. Oh, so close to each other.
Wow.
Oof.
That's gentleman racing.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have thought
nice.
that they would have been able to pass through that section too wide. Now Alenbroek, who got that third position at this time, so we'll be completing our podium, and then Guillaume, who sadly fell back. I think 2 positions, yeah. So Baba comfortably, let's say for now, in the lead with Hermans and Alenbroek following, and then Guillaume on the 4th position. And then in the back we also have the Papa moving up, Romano with another place gained, Lavanini with 2 places gained, Laurès, the big casualty there, losing 3 places. Delforge also gained a place, and Laurès, as we speak, lost another position, with Gimblevich also losing 2 places.
Yeah, the names, there's some names we have to practice, that's for sure. So
yeah, indeed.
I hope some of the guys can maybe even send us a text or not a sound message to let us know how to pronounce their name. In front, we still have Aaron Baba, who is leading, pulling away slightly from Kenny Hermans, followed by Renzo Alenbroek in 3rd position. And then we have Florent Guillaume and also Sacha Gorlet.
Yeah, looking at my screen, Ronald, Baba is lightning fast right now. He's 2 seconds faster than Hermans in 2nd position, probably because of that fighting that's been going on. But yeah, what a lap from Baba, that last one.
Yeah, well, he is one of the higher people of with the highest among the highest iRating. So it's I think he has about 8,000. And for instance, also Renzo Alenbroek is also in the 8,000. So very strong field up front. A lot of people above the 3,000 iRating. So that it's really tough to get those numbers set on your profile, because it's a very competitive platform, iRacing, as we know.
Yeah, for the new people, the new viewers who may not be familiar with iRacing, iRating is the rating basically that you gain or receive by winning races. As we're looking at a fight, but never mind, he tucks in for 4th place. That should be Guillaume, I think, who tried to attack again. But yeah, maybe I should keep it for a little bit of a slower moment, because we're watching a 3-way fight for P2 right here. So
indeed, I think we have to focus on the racing at the moment, as we have a nice battle between Hermans Alenbroek and Guillaume, Florent Guillaume. An attack by Alenbroek on the inside, but Hermans not giving in. He will have the inside again for the next chicane. Yeah. Oh, that's...
Oh! Daniel Ricciardo with Stroll flashbacks, but these guys are driving a bit faster. Luckily, it seems that there isn't too much damage.
Yeah.
But that could have ended a lot worse for Alenbroek, who... can he still manage that gap? And we see an attack, very aggressive by Guillaume, taking the inside and claiming that 3rd spot again. And he will be hunting for Hermans as well. He will be wanting that 2nd place back. So curious how we will continue this race.
Yeah, and also Sasha Gourlet is getting closer to those 3 cars as well. He's now in the fight. Oh, heavily on the curb there. I don't think the F4 likes the curbs that much.
Yeah, if you hear them scraping the ground here in the chicane, I'm pretty sure they don't. But so far, so good. But it seems like maybe Allenbroek did get a bit of damage there, because suddenly he can't really get a connection with those two. Yeah, the P2 and the P3. He's falling back a bit. And let's have a look at the lap times once he crosses. But let's hope that he did not suffer too much from that, Ronald.
Yeah. It was a bit strange, maybe a small amount of netcode involved as well, so there could be damage. Maybe we don't see it, but there could definitely be damage for sure. While Herman's still defending his second position. Of course, he knows the track very well, also from real life. And we have a few people in the championship who also race in real life, and of course some of the best Belgian iRacers as well.
Yeah,
and
it's
Baba
very close.
is running away. He's got a gap of about 4.5 seconds now, so that's he just needs to focus on his own pace. Doesn't really have to look in his rear view mirrors. Just look ahead, focus on the apex, and just put down some nice clean laps.
Yeah, luckily we're in a digital environment, so mechanical failure should be okay. We can still have some hardware failure that may cause some trouble, but normally that doesn't occur that often. So indeed, it's just putting down these laps. But for Guillaume, Hermans, and Uilenbroek, it's a completely different story, because these guys will be fighting for P2, I think, for the remainder of the 20 minutes, if I'm looking at it this way.
Yeah, this could become an attack by Florent Guillaume again. He's really in the slipstream, going for the inside into the first corner. I think he has it. Yeah.
It's Guillaume moving up to second place then. So he's back to where he started from. And he's sure to... now he has some free space to maybe show that pace and try to catch Baba. But 5 seconds is a long way out. Never say never. But he's going to have to put out a special show. Put on a special show to try and catch up with Baba. Guillaume with a 28.57 last lap, while Baba is driving 28.55, so that's only 2/100ths of a difference in the lap time. So I'm curious, probably Baba is managing a bit. He's probably not pushing as hard, but still Guillaume also did that overtake in turn 1, so let's see how far he can close that gap towards Baba.
Yeah, it looks like Guillaume is unleashed, pulling away from Hermans. Maybe a good time to go to the field just to get to know some of the other drivers as well, of course. So we have, for instance, P6 Benjamin de Pape, Lucas Romano also for driving for Vortex, Nathan Lavagnini. That's something we need to practice. I need to practice. But we think he also drives in other series. I've seen his name before. Then we have Matthias Lores from the Digitrax racing team. And then 2 cars. First one is Jonathan Delforge by driving for Bouts and VDS by Undercut. And also Aurélien, and that's indeed a difficult name again.
I think it's Gimlevich.
Yeah, we'll
bit of a Polish influence, maybe?
Yeah, he's also driving for the Bouts and VDS team. And then we have Olivier Warnier, Lorenz Vlieger is also a familiar name, driving for the Eagle Speed Academy Esports team. Navarro de Boever, also a familiar name. One of the Vortex cars, Jonas Rules, somebody we also know, driving for KGL. And another name we know is Alex Bias. Eagle Speed Academy Esports. They organize their own league as well, the Wishful League. Followed by Arnaud Delinche. It's a French name. We definitely need to study those French names. Origa Racing. And then Julien Agneses, also KGL. Michael Maillot, another Boutsen car. Fabio Cumbo, who is a privateer. And then Maxime Musin. And Tim Simon of Simon. Diederik Thiere, also driving for Eagle Speed Academy Esports. And then Marceau Guigny. And we also have Kenny Liebert, but he's out of the race. So let's get back into the front. And there we still see Aaron Baba with about the same gap between him and the next car. That's Florent Guillaume, who managed to pull away from Kenny Hermans.
Yeah, the gap is a lot bigger than before we started the look through the field, right? So he's more than a second ahead now of Kenny Hermans, who sees him pulling away and away, but only sees Uilenbroek coming closer and closer. So he has a lot of work to do. I'm curious if he can hold on to that position. And it looks like the qualifying was pretty accurate until now, Ronald, because I think the biggest losers and gainers, I see one Laurès who lost 4 positions, but for the rest it's only 1 position gained, 2 positions gained, 2 positions lost, 1 position lost. So yeah, maybe not the biggest overtaking action, not as much overtaking action as we expected, I should say, but it's definitely not done yet, as we're looking at this train with Uilenbroek pushing to get past Hermans, because I think he may have the pace to get past, but yeah, it's not because you're faster you're able to get past. And then Gorlet trying to chase the guys, as we see a move from Uilenbroek on the inside on Hermans into turn 1. Can he make it stick? It looks like he can. Now going defensive into that second part, into that second turn, making sure to run it all the way outside, and should be okay. Maybe we see a counterattack, as we see Gorlet also trying to pick a little bit of a grain from that fight. But I think it's for another lap.
Yeah, but the battle is definitely intense between these 3 cars. Heavy on the curb there by Uilenbroek as well. And of course, this is heat 1, so there will be no real points for position in this heat. But of course, the first 15 will go to the feature race, and that gives you the opportunity to score the highest amount of points. So you don't want to risk it all, because you want to try to be within the first 15 or the half of this heat, actually, to get into the feature race. But of course, you want to have the best possible starting position as well. So you have to push to make sure you are in front and get a good starting position. but you don't want to risk it all right now. So it's, yeah, you have to be on the limit, but don't cross the limit.
Yeah, calculated risks, I guess.
Yeah. And then, yeah, it's an open setup, so everybody can set up the car as they want. They can take the amount of fuel as they want. So I hope everybody calculated that one correctly. Maybe with the help of some AI, it should be possible to have the correct amount of fuel.
Yeah, and again, those curbs, you can see them jumping over, but on Zolder, it's oh so important to take up as much of that curb as you can for the people who drive a bit around iRacing, or maybe even in real life or Assetto Corsa, or you name it. They know that you can shave off easily half a second maybe by taking that curb a bit better or a bit more on the edge than another driver. So I guess we will see plenty of jumping, and let's praise that it's only virtual springs or virtual suspension, that there aren't any engineers who will be working throughout the night to get that car ready again. As we see a fastest lap, by the way, for Guillaume, who's 3/10 faster than Baba at this moment. Of course, we already said it's not sure that Baba is pushing it to the limit. No need for that, as Ronald already mentioned. But still...
Yeah, the gap came down with about a second or so. Yeah, something like that. Yep. About a second at the moment. But indeed, he can control the race. He can manage the race. And maybe it's a good time to have a look and see if our replay is working as well.
Flawless.
That's working. There was a crash, according to iRacing. Oh yeah, it's a spin. Ooh. Yeah, on the brakes.
Maybe a lockup, or what do you think happened there?
Yeah, I think he just went on the brakes too deep into the corner, probably something like that, and then the back of the car came around. So if you have a look at the closest battle on track, then yeah, definitely this is one of the closest. There was a fight between Lucas Romano and Nathan as well, but I think he made a mistake. So let's have a look at that as well. Maybe went a little bit wide or something. Oh yeah, there you see him going a bit of rallying by Nathan. But he keeps the car on track.
It's such an annoying corner in that aspect. Eh? You're what are we looking at here?
That's a big one. That's a big one. What happened here? Let's see if we can see what was going on there. Oh. It already happened here, yeah.
Oh, and then a big smack.
Not very well judged.
Yeah, that's the importance of the yellow flags. It's always difficult to estimate or to guess how fast you have to drive, because you don't want to lose time, but it's a pretty blind corner as well. You have late vision, definitely, especially when you're on single screens in that corner.
Yeah.
So now, yeah, it doesn't hurt to be cautious.
Florent Guillaume is getting closer to Erin Baba, that's for sure. The gap is now less than 3 seconds, so another second won by Florent Guillaume. And we have about 9 minutes to go, so this could become interesting for the victory. And as you can see, they are going to hit some traffic.
Yeah, let's hope that we can have a gentleman's agreement like in that first round, right? Or that first lap. That was pretty clean. We also already had a back marker and everybody got past pretty well.
Yeah, they
So
will get a blue
curious to
flag,
see.
but of course, if they are racing for positions, it can get dicey sometimes if you have to overtake a back
Yeah,
marker
definitely.
who is still fighting for position, maybe.
You know, we saw a scrap in the background for P18, P19. Those guys were having a go at it as well. But now we're looking at Allenbroek defending that third position for all his worth. Baba got through
Yeah,
pretty unharmed, I think.
yeah, they went well
Seemed
out
like
of
it
the
was,
way.
yeah, seemed pretty smooth. But now Guillaume will come across them in maybe a more difficult section. See
Yeah, if he's
how
lucky, he can do it on the straight as well before the first chicane.
so far so good. The time isn't going up towards Baba.
This is a bit.
Now, yeah, yeah,
Although
that was a bit of a
he will pick
hindrance.
a bit of a slipstream, maybe.
And then the car on the inside, of course, will back off because
Yeah.
of those blue flags.
That's
So
nicely
that's
done.
good to see.
Yeah.
We saw Lavagnini dropping 2 positions there in the back, but no, yeah, they have race control telling me that there was a crash.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at what happened there. Probably a bit of overspeed.
Oh, on the outside,
going
probably on the
too
curb.
wide.
Yeah.
And then that curb has a bit
Yeah,
of,
it's-
a lot of height difference.
Yeah.
So you lose the grip, and then, yeah. Luckily, you can keep it out of the wall.
Gourlay
So that's
is
good.
taking over the position of Kenny Hermans as well. Let's go back live because that was still in the replay.
Now we see another back marker going out of the way. So good gentleman, yeah, good racecraft, or how should I say, good manners in
Yeah.
this lobby so far. That's great to see. Of course, there's a bit more of a race control than there is on iRacing itself when you just play public lobbies. So it's always fun to play in these leagues, and definitely when there is a big prize on the line. Tell us maybe about that one, Ronald.
Yes, that's a very nice question indeed. So the overall winner of the pro class will get invited to represent Belgium at the FIA Motorsport Games in Valencia, which is in Spain. It's in October. So definitely a nice ticket there on the line for whoever takes victory at the end of the championship. I think this is a great opportunity for every sim racer as well, and not only for sim races, also for real life racers that are also sim racers. It's a great opportunity to put yourself in the spotlight. So very nice prize to win, and that's also a big thank you to the RACB as well for supporting the series and helping to set up the league and the championship and coming up with this nice prize as well. And of course, we also have a few other things we can announce. There will be some giveaways as well. So that's because one of the sponsors, IMB, is offering some simware and things like that to give away, and we will maybe invite Simon, one of the other organizers, to explain that later on. So that's something to look forward to as well, and also some trophies which are provided by KGL. And a lot of nice stuff as well by IMB. So very nice to be a driver in this championship, because you can win some very cool prizes as well. But maybe when we have a small break in between the consolation and the feature race, we can have a chat with Simon, or maybe in the next race, and then he can explain a few of those things as well. Yeah, not a fastest lap. Yeah, by
I was just about to say, what a lap, 128.
128.
He's really pushing. He's really pushing. Maybe trying to get Baba, or just feel the waters a bit for when that feature race indeed comes, because there's not, for these guys there shouldn't be that much at stake at this point if they can just cruise along. But it doesn't hurt to scout your opponent a bit, so Guillaume may find it interesting to just drive a bit behind Baba and test the water, see where he's fast, see where he's slow. So when it matters, he knows where to attack. Yeah, curious to see how that goes. Gorley and Hermans meanwhile fighting as well.
Yeah, Hermans trying to fight back. If he can stay there, then he will have the inside in this corner. It's called the Rea. It used to be called the Rea. Most drivers still refer to the Rea, but it's the Boulderbergbocht.
And he has the inside now, so I'm curious to see if he will push it along. He probably will outbrake, but then he gets cut off. Yeah, that we were able to tell that from a mile away.
Yeah.
Gorley got pushed on the inside there by Hermans. He didn't really have anywhere else to go. I think he was significantly alongside as well. I think he had the right to be there. But of course, it's always difficult to judge in a simulator how hard you can squeeze your opponent. And you have to. At this level, you really have to squeeze your opponent and give him not more than the inches he needs, because otherwise he will just get you on the exit. But yeah, so a little incident, but luckily nothing too bad.
Oh, he can keep racing. Did lose a few positions, but still in the race.
We have a couple guys in the pits as well.
Yeah, that's something I would like to mention as well. We have incident limits, so that means if you get 20 incidents, you will get disqualified from the race. But every 10 incident points, you will get a drive-through. So it's very important to drive clean. And also the drivers who finish a race without incident points will get some points for that as well. So the goal really is to race hard, but keep it fair and keep it clean. Otherwise, there will be some punishments.
I think we will see Baba going towards the final lap here, or not sure how the calculations will go. But I didn't see a white flag, but probably it will be the final lap for Baba. And Guillaume won't be able to catch him in this heat, but it definitely won't mean he won't be able to get him in the heat where they actually give out the points. So I'm curious to see how that will go. Meanwhile, in the back, when we were looking, we were talking about the top 15 being able to go through.
Yeah, it depends. So, the top 15, because we only have 25 cars. Could be that it's the half of the field of each heat. Actually, depends.
Okay.
So it maximum is 15 if we get in 60 cars. So it's just half.
I think we had 54 when we started qualifying, so it should be 27 then, I guess, in total, which can go through in the final heat. Or, anyways, we're looking at the end of the race, and for this heat, Baba will comfortably, let's say, take the win here for our first heat at Zolder.
Yeah, so he will be in front of the grid for the feature race, that's for sure. Renzo Ullenbroek in third position, Kenny Hermans in fourth, and then we have Lucas Romano And also Benjamin de Pape. Sacha Gourlet also. And then we wait for everybody else.
Bit of a drag race.
Yeah.
But I think it was too far anyways. As we're looking at Delforge coming over as well. Barnier. And the doubled cars also coming across. So now it's starting to get difficult to call the names. But we're looking at the rules right now. Coming over the finish line. Then Delins for Origa Racing as well. And the Mercury Club Racing by MSS car. Please be patient, student driver. That's Michael Maye. And then the final car to take the flag will be De Vlieger in 16th.
Yeah. Now, this means we will switch immediately to Heat 2. So I don't think we will have time to go over the results of Heat 1. Because those cars of the Heat 2 cars are already lining up as well.
And there we have the front sitter will be Peters, who's also a very strong contender. I drove against him in the 24 hours, the virtual 24 hours of Zolder in the Porsche Cup 1 year, and they are just on a different level. We were second place there, but yeah, Peters was very fast. And Crispin on second place, Bollen on the third, and we have the lights coming up, and we are getting ready to go. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we are away for the second heat of this FIA F4 Championship, the Belgian competition, going 2 wide, 3 wide, 4 wide into that first corner. Peters can keep that position. Bolle Taalman, I think they moved up a position, but in the back we see a massive incident. We'll have to have a look at what happened there. That's a couple of guys going off, so a bit less clean than our first heat, but the top 10, I would say, did come out clean, as we see someone clipping the grass in the background as well. But Ronald, what a start to this second heat.
Yes, I'm silent again, just watching and hoping not too many shenanigans happens. Oh, bit of a late lunge there by somebody, not sure who it was. But in front it's Vince Peters leading the way, followed by Lucas Taalman and Cedric Bolle. Now, you have to be careful, by the way, Thomas, because you said some of the guys went off, but we do have 2 ladies in the race. And unfortunately, we lost Ellen, I think, but we'll have a look at them as well. But first, we just try to follow what's going on in front of the field.
Yeah, we will definitely have a look at that later, but right now we're looking at Taalman in second place, following Peters, who's also trying to stretch that gap towards 1 second, where that slipstream becomes much less strong, and he might be able to, let's not say relax a bit, but not be pushing that hard. We'll see. And Taalman will then be followed by Bollen, and Crispin by the Traxxas by JWS Motorsport car will be in 4th position, and he lost 2 places. So Taalman in 2nd place came from 4th, but took that 2nd position, and Crispin fell back to 4th.
Yeah, and it's still a lot of cars close to each other. It's a bit of a snake still. And a lot of familiar names in this field as well. Some newer people, I would say, maybe not new to racing or new to iRacing, but new to us.
Whoa.
That was also
what a move.
very
what
daring.
A move.
Yeah.
like
They're
Colin,
still-
and he still hasn't passed it. They're still going towards Jackie X, and he will have the outside here. Let's hope that they can pass it, not the way we saw Heat 1 end, and Philip Aerts just choosing to be the wiser
Yeah.
man and says, I'll keep that that 8th position and be sure of passing through to the next round.
Yeah, Vince keeping the first position, but he's not clearing the air very much. They still stay in range. It's more or less about second point 2 at the moment.
We saw, we saw Verzelen falling all the way back on the left side of our screen. Not sure what happened there. If it was maybe a visual bug.
We'll have
I saw
a
him
look at
dropping
it.
very, very low, but race control doesn't really show me any noticeably or anything of significance that happened with Verzelen.
Let's have a look at the start. What happened there? So somebody went. Oh, there was somebody. Yeah, somebody went into a spin, and then I think everybody more or less bunched up and going to try to have a look at a different camera angle and see.
Maybe an onboard.
That could be doable as well. Oh, Alan.
Overspeed.
Oh,
Massive overspeed.
Massive overspeed by Alan. But there was somebody going around actually, and that probably caused a major slowdown by everybody. And then she got caught up and was coming in a little bit too fast. And look at this, it's still a big field, very close to each other.
It just makes me silent watching these cars all go by. Yeah. It's something to watch.
If Lucas Taalman can get close to Vince Peters, then we have about, I think, a train of, let's say, 10 cars very close to each other.
I'm still looking at the replay right now, Ronald.
Oh yes,
as we have we're at the end of the first lap.
Very
no
sorry.
worries.
Yes, yes.
No worries.
I was just.
It was still pretty impressive to watch the cars go by. No worries. It was a good recap of that that first lap.
Indeed. Let's go back to reality. Vince is creating a slightly bigger gap, but then still we have this train of 3 cars and then a small gap between them, and there's still a lot of cars following close to each other.
What might be interesting to keep an eye on for the viewers at home and for us as well is that fastest lap last heat was a 128, I think. It was 128 round. Maybe in the final round it was a bit faster, but let's say that was a faster. Vince Peters is already driving 28.45, but it's only 4.5 tenths away from that fastest lap in the previous heat. So I'm curious because the cars are, of course, a lot heavier right now. They do have fresher tires, but they have almost a full fuel load. So I'm curious to see maybe already a bit of a sneak peek for what we will have in our feature race, I would say, where we have the best of Heat 1 and Heat 2 clashing together on this circuit, Zolder.
Yeah, maybe we can have a look at one of the racing ladies as well. So I think this is really the first steps in iRacing as well for her. She has driven on Zolder in real life, also having a national racing license in real life as well. But it's, the baby steps in the virtual world in iRacing. and I think it's the first competition for her as well. So it's good to see the car is still on track, because we all know it's very hard to start iRacing. It's not the easiest platform to race on. So very good job by Shana. And a battle between Christophe de Leek and Jelle Verstraeten. Verstraeten taking the inside. De Leek is going to counter-attack, probably trying to take the inside now for the next chicane. Oh, that's close as well. Nicely handled though,
but it's all good. It's all good. Good fighting spirit. We love to see it. Did you see a counter-attack attempt? Just filling up the mirrors, trying to make him a bit nervous, the Leek. And Stefan is making the Leek, trying to make him a bit nervous. So curious to see how that will evolve throughout the race.
Yeah, and it feels a bit like, of course, they're a lot faster than the MX-5, but it seems like if you go for a move, but you can't complete the move, or you have to back off just a little bit, you are losing momentum actually. So it's very important to, if you go for the attack, then you have to be sure that you can complete the overtake, because otherwise you risk of dropping back even a few places, as we see Cedric Bolle now very close to Lucas Taalman. Putting the pressure on, and that gives Vince Peters to have the opportunity to break away even more.
Yeah, but Bollen really isn't taking... Bollen won't be at peace with that third place, it looks. He's still hunting, waiting for...
a bit of a mistake.
I say that's a commentator's curse. I was about to say he's just waiting for a mistake to come from Taalman, on which he can... from which he can take advantage. But that won't come.
That's one of the back markers that went off, I think.
Yeah, indeed. And just one more thing to say, Ronald. Vince Peters 128.25 right now. So that's 2.5 tenths. I'm curious to see how fast he can go.
Yeah, he's definitely matching the lap times of Aaron Baba and also Florent Guillaume. And Jiri Crispijn also holding on to its to his fourth position. Nice race so far also by Jasper Schoonmakers, running in P5. And then we have Mathieu Collin and Søren Gerrits going for the attack on the inside. But then you risk to lose the traction or the speed out of the corner action, and now he's even vulnerable to Maxime Roobroek. So that's what I mean. If you go for a move, you have to really be sure you can make it, because otherwise you risk losing a place instead of gaining a place, as we just saw going on live.
Yeah, and the first thing they teach you when you go to a race school is slow in, fast out, because they catch you so often on the exit, and the exit is so important. And that indeed was a prime example of what happens if you don't focus on your exit speeds. Taking a bit of the gravel with him. Which Shane van Ganzen. driving for the Digitrax racing team, who we also have a competition running in parallel. I'm not sure if the competition is still open for registrations, but I think this one is Ronald.
Well, there currently is a MX5 competition running, and there soon will be another F3 championship. And that's a nice segue, as they say, because I still need to check the price list, but I believe there's also a free entry for the F3 competition by Digitrax as well. So more on that later, but indeed somebody can gain a ticket and to have access to the championship of the F3 Digitrax championship.
I think Vince Peters is listening in on the stream because he's still pushing for that fastest lap. We're currently, for the people at home who missed it, we're at 1:28.10, being the fastest lap of this heat set by Peters. And the previous fastest was a 28.0, and that gives us a bit of an idea of how the leaders of the two warm-up heats, or how do you want to call it, or selection heats, or I'm not sure, how they will compare to each other. So it seems like it will be a tight one, but Vince will probably prefer to break the record and have the fastest of the two heats. Curious how he can do that. Right now in the back we also have a bit of movement going on. Basically the whole field has settled a bit, except for maybe the battle for P5. Then we also have, of course, Van Ganze, who's still hunting Verbert for the Eagle Speeds Academy Esports team, and he will prefer to stay ahead. And also in the back we have Molle trying to make a move on Goossens, who's also been close to the person in front of him for a couple of laps, I think even. Yeah, we might see an attack. That was a bit of a twitchy braking zone on the inside for the little amount you brake there in that corner. But this may actually be for the final position, or no, I may be wrong. Ronald, correct me if I'm wrong. We have two different categories. So how does that work?
Yeah, but that's you don't get promoted per class actually. So it's just everybody. There's no separation in classes within the heats, so it's just like the first half of the heat goes to the feature, second half to the consolation race. But then in the end, when we're done racing, then the points will be given to the top, or the most points will be given to the winner of the feature race, and then we go we just go lower at each position. So that means, for instance, if let's say 25 people enter in the feature race, then the first of the consolation race will gain points for position 26, and then it just goes lower in points. But then in the standings we will arrange them per class and stuff like that. So, but to go through the heats and into the feature or the consolation, there's no class difference in iRacing. Right. So it's just when we do the final scoring, there will be a different standing per class and things like that.
Thank you for the enlightenment. And again, Ronald, of course, being one of the organizers as well, together with the RACB and everybody else involved. We see his car going slow there. That might actually be a back marker, making room for the faster guys.
Yeah, and
now I can say guys, because these were guys. Yes. I did check, Ronald. I did check.
Yeah, and we can see that Jasper Schoonmakers lost position to Maxime Robroek. So let's have a look, and also Mathieu Collin. Oh, the big slide
Whoa.
there. Yeah, losing all the speed he had, and then it's very painful on this part of the track because the exit of the corner before the tunnel just determines your top speed at the end of this straight. So yeah, a bad exit out of the chicane and it will kill you in the Boulderbergbocht, as we see. So it's very important to have a good exit from that chicane, and then indeed, like you said before, slow in, fast out. That's really the way to go with every chicane on this track. So important to have a good exit speed.
As we were watching the guys having a chicken, a little game of chicken, who would lose or who would break first, I would say, or stop, or
who is going to be the last of the late breakers?
Yeah, exactly. 3 wide through that chicane won't work. Even a 2 wides, you have to be very respectful of each other. So I'm happy to see that these guys made it through in one piece. This is the closest battle train we have right now. And it consists out of Schoonmakers, Gerrits and Robroek. Robroek in P6 in the red, yellow and black car, trying to defend that position from Schoonmakers and Gerrits, who's a privateer. Now that I see them crossing the line, we see someone standing still on pit exit. That's a
it's probably coming out of
dangerous one.
And a bit of smoke. Yeah, there's indeed some. I saw some smoke indeed. There was somebody went around. Again, showing how difficult it can be to keep these cars on track.
I haven't driven them myself. Did you, Ronald?
No. Yes, I did for a photo shoot, a few laps, but yeah, that's it.
But not on the edge then, probably.
Yeah. No, just cruising along, yeah.
Cruising along.
I will have to help in some of the official practice sessions to see how the car drives.
Get a feel for it.
Yeah. Let's see if we can go in the car. Maybe the cockpit view is a bit better. Yeah, so let's have a look at a few corners. And can you see that? The fastest lap time. It's now 1:27.9.
Yes, he did break that.
Yeah.
We were saying it was going to happen, and it finally did. So fastest lap right now for Vince Peters. I think it was out of the 2 heats. We see here taking on that curb very aggressively. And you have to take it in exactly the right angle, because otherwise you lose control of the car and you go too wide on exit. Then you're braking, trying to get it early in, but not too early. And it's so technical, this specific section. It's insane. Getting the apex real close here, and letting it ride out wide to hugging the inside. That becomes the outside. Brake at 50, 75 meters ish, and then using all the room you get to get that exit speed onto the back straight towards the Jackie chicane. Brake past the BioRacer bridge. Use that as your braking reference. Hug the inside. Brutal on the inside as well. And then going all the way out, and that's half a lap of Circuit Zolder in a Formula 4 car by Vince Peters with a fastest lap as well.
The faster lap, yes. Yeah, so top 3. That's something we missed, unfortunately. I will try to find it, because it looks like Jiri Crispijn passed Cedric Bolle. And I think it happened here. Oh,
On the
running wide.
exits.
Nice save though, but
Yeah.
losing a position, but kept it out of the wall. So
Yeah. And
a
he
bit
will
of a
be very
brown
happy
pants
with that.
moment.
Yeah, definitely. I think you will be very happy with that, Ronald, that he kept that on track. Because we just mentioned it, huh? You go a bit too aggressive on the curves and you go wide. So have you also had one of those moments, Ronald, on that curb? I think everybody has, right?
Everybody has, I believe, yeah. We've all seen the inside and also the outside of that on the chicane. Every tire wall or concrete wall we've all seen there, I'm afraid. But yeah, very nice save, well controlled. Losing a position, but still in the race. And that's, at this moment, the most important is being in the race, finishing in front so that you can go to the feature race. Because that's where the points are. The top points can be earned in the feature race. There was a little bit of smoke as well, but don't see any car in the gravel at the moment. So maybe it was a bit of a lockup by somebody.
I didn't even get the notification from race control, the one you had from Crispin. So I'm happy you noticed, because I didn't get that one. Maybe something wrong with my settings. Anyways, always great to have you here, Ronald.
Well, it's indeed an updated version still of the... Whoa, that's almost a flyby by Mathieu Collin. He has to make sure that he doesn't collide with the wall, but almost taking off. Also, Maxime Robroek doing a great job. Closely followed by Jasper Schoonmakers. While Søren Gerrits has dropped back a little bit.
No, but I think our top 6 should be pretty stable as long as these guys don't make any big mistakes anymore. And I say top 6, but I should say top 5, because of course we still have Schoonmakers chasing Robroek as well.
Yeah, the dust has settled, as they say, so there's still a nice battle going on between Robroek and Jasper Schoonmakers. That's the closest battle on track at the moment. Same goes for Philippe Verbert and Shane van Ganze. And also Stefan, and now I have to try to remember how we have to pronounce his name, because I forgot, I'm afraid. But Stefan also doing a nice job, currently in P10. And that would mean, I'm not going to jinx stuff, or but I guess they are still, these are fighting actually for being in the feature race directly.
Maybe we should tell them. How about that?
I think they know.
Them a message.
They probably will
a purple
know.
message.
So, yeah.
Okay. That's always really spicy when you're driving a league and you get the purple message on top.
Yeah.
It's race control telling you something for the people who don't drive iRacing. Most of the times it would be a penalty, but I think we could spice things up if we send these 3 guys a purple message saying, hey, that's for the final heat. But let's not bother these guys with that. They are very busy as it is right now.
If it's divided in 2, then they don't have to fight, because they're 10, 11 and 12, so they don't have to make life hard for each other. I think they will go through as they stay like this.
I guess we'll know in 1 or 2 laps time, because of course, ladies and gents, we're running against the clock. So I think the current setting is that if the leader can't complete a full lap anymore within the 30 minutes, then that means that that is the final lap. So the clock won't run out. until, yeah, so it won't be 30 minutes, and then the next lap will be the final lap. I think one or two more laps. Let's see, they're running a 1:28. By the way, Vincent last lap was again faster. That's at 1:27.8.
Yeah, but also Lucas Taalman, who we are watching at the moment, is running 1:28.2. Also, Yuri Crispin 1:28.6. So this top, let's say top 5, top 6 is within a second actually at the moment. So that means that if we mix the fast guys, or the fast cars, I will say, of Heat 1 and Heat 2 together, then it should become very close racing.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how all of this will evolve, and throughout the season as well, because the first race of a season, often there's guys who have a more of an approach of who'll see how it goes, and there's guys who say I have to know every centimeter of the track, and throughout the season that may evolve. So I'm curious to see how this season will go. But right now, what we can tell is that Vince Peters is probably the fastest man on track, together with Baba and what was the name? Guillaume?
Florent.
Not sure anymore. I'm very sorry. But
Guillaume,
those three will have a very tight battle, I think. In,
and also
our
Lucas
next
Taalman,
heat.
because he's actually also doing 1:28.1.19. So yeah, everybody is quite close there. I think the first 6 to 7 cars of each heat, will be very close. And indeed, the session is set up that of every heat, the first 15 should go to the feature race, and then as of P16, it's going to be the consolation race. That's the way it was set up. I do hope it will play out like that. Just have to wait and see how iRacing will calculate everything. But indeed, like Anton said in chat, it should be the first 15 of every heat going through to the feature race, while the other will come together in the consolation race. Oh, and we have to check because
I was just about to say, I think we have Vince coming towards the finish, Ronald.
yeah, I don't see a finish flag. Yeah, it's checkered flag. So indeed, Vince Peters taking the win of Heat 2 of the first round of the Belgian F4 Championship with a convincing win. Oh no! Don't start, Ronald. Don't do it. Lucas Taalman coming in second place. Yuri Crispin P3, and then we have Cedric Boller P4, and then Mathieu Collin close to P4, but in P5. Maxime Robroek will take P6, while Jasper Schoonackers finishes in 7th place. Søren Gerrits gets P8. Gilles Philippaerts P9. Stefan Le Guin, I'm going to say it's going to be pronounced differently, but I'm just going to say it like that. Nicely done, P10. Philippe Verbert in P11. And then we have Shane van Gansen in P12. Pieter Goossens, P13. Mathieu Mol taking 14th place. And then we have Jelle Verstraeten, 15. Quinten Verzelen in 16th place. As we wait for Stefan van der Smissen to take the checkered flag as well. Geoffrey Roelands. I'm just going to go over the standings as much as possible. I think everybody is in. And that means that we do get a warm-up now. of about 5 minutes.
Yeah, looks like it.
So that's maybe a good opportunity to take a small break as well. And then we will get back for the next races. So I'm going to...
Ja, hoort mij nog, Ronald? Even kijken dan. La 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 la. La la, yes.
So we will have to see how the race will be set up, as warm-up is currently over. Like I said before, it's going to be probably a first hectic night. First time we do this heat format. So let's see what we get at the moment. It's directly to the feature race, which was not the plan, to be honest. We should have a consolation race because it's set up like that to have always a consolation race. But we go along and we will have a look at that later on. So let's see what we get in the feature race. 30 cars on grid, so that's correct. But I'm not sure why the consolation race isn't showing up, unfortunately.
What's most important is that we have all the guys lined up right now. Baba in first position, followed by Peters and Guillaume, to give us this final spectacle as the lights go out. Ronald, take it away.
And away we go again. A good start by Eren Baba, going into the first corner, leading the pack as it seems. A bit of weaving by Thalman in the back in P4, P5. Oh, and there's a bit of a lockup behind. Not sure if there was a real crash going on, but in front everybody is getting away nicely, getting cleanly away.
Diving it down to the inside in that corner towards the straight for that chicane where they have to sort out. There's no room to go too wide there. We see a couple of drivers who might be thinking about it, but the guys in the front are obviously not, and they will try to make their lead a bit stronger. We do have a car jumping to the pits. That's Mailleux and Collin who jumped to the pits according to race control. So maybe we did have a crash, but right now we are looking at Baba in the lead, followed closely by Peters. Guillaume will probably try to catch up to those guys, and then keep an eye on Thalman and Uilenbroek as well, because these guys definitely won't let Baba just take it away.
Yeah, that's something I would like to say. It's okay. What are you going to do now if you're running in P3, P4? Is it going to try to attack, or will you try to just stay in line and hope that the guy in front is as equally fast as the car in front of that car, so that you can stay close to the leading cars? That's always something to think about, as Peters is really putting on the pressure on Eren Baba. And same goes for them. Will I try to get P1 or just try to break away together with Eren? Or will I attack and risk of being captured by the car in P3? Because we know Florent Guillaume is also fast. Same goes for Lucas Thalman.
Bit of a different line by Peters there, going onto that back straight, and the gap was actually... Yeah, it was actually closing that gap by Peters, but Peters then lifted and the gap became a bit bigger. Uilenbroek falling back massively, so he probably did not make it through that chicane there. Maybe took a bit of too much of curb. I'm sure we will be able to go back to that at a later stage, but right now we're looking at Peters, who keeps on coming closer and closer and is just studying Baba, looking where he probably can make an attack, because Guillaume and Thalman also closing up now. So it seems like Baba is having a bit of an issue with the pressure being put on by the guys behind. As we see a big slide by Baba, and that will be the final nail in the coffin, because now Peters will have the inside towards turn 1 and then takes P1 before the entry, and all Baba can do is just have a look and try and get as close to Peters as possible to not lose any more position. But that is a lead change in our feature race, and Peters will be in the lead right now, followed by Baba, Guillaume and Thalman is our final 4, the train for P4, for P1 I should say. So curious how that will evolve.
Yeah, and it's a nice example of what I was explaining before, because they were hard over the curb again by Peters. Because they are fighting in front, that was giving the opportunity to Florent Guillaume and Lucas Taalman to catch up. So it's now a pack of 4 cars. And if we can, we will try to have a look at what happened in those opening laps. But the battle in front was quite thrilling, so didn't want to go to another spot as we can see the first 4 cars coming by. Oh, somebody went around there as well.
Let's have a look at Corley. What happened there on the hairpin? That looks like a bit of net code.
Yeah, just had to brake a bit too hard because of the car in front of him, maybe, and just got spooked. Not sure. It was difficult to see from this this camera angle. While this battle still continues. Guillaume now putting on the pressure on Baba, who goes wide. Already going for the inside.
Oh, and they touch.
And they touch. Be tricky.
And that sends Baba flying over that curb. And he will lose those positions due to that and fall back to 4th place. So that means that now our top 3 exists out of Peters, Guillaume, Taalman and Baba, who won't be happy with what happened there. But we'll have to find a connection back to those front 4.
Yeah, it's always a risk going too wide in that first chicane. Every chicane actually in Zolder is very hard to do with 2 cars next to each other. So it's always a risk, but yeah, you have to go for it. Otherwise, you will be losing. So you have to stand your ground, even in the chicane. But it's so tight, and then a bit of contact is always possible.
And here it's running in the front, if I remember correctly, in our previous races. Also had a crash. Not sure what happened there. Maybe we will get a replay on that. But he's falling back massively as well.
I'm afraid we had a few crashes, so let's have a look at something in the start. So what? Oh, that's too deep. Oh, that's painful. Should have kept the brakes on, actually.
And then grabbing.
Yeah. Not sure who it was. I think it was Mathieu Collin. Yeah, he should have kept the brakes on. That's the only thing you can do at that time. There's at that place, at the start of the race, you can't keep rolling. You have to just slam the brakes and hope for the best because there's no saving, actually. So that was what happened at the start, unfortunately. Let's have a look at what happened to Lorenzo. Lorenzo, that's not... I'm mixing names at the moment. Renzo is the name. So let's have a look what happened. But first we go back live to the front of the field while I look for what happened to Renzo Uilenbroek.
Yeah, and we see that Peters has built up quite a comfortable gap, if I can say that, of 1.8 seconds as we go back to the replay. And now we are looking at Uilenbroek. What happened there exactly? Curious to see.
Oh,
moving up in the Jackie X, and he went back into the pit lane, of course. Yeah, that's a bit of a thing on Zolder, that when they go into the pit lane, we get the message that they crash. Meanwhile, Vince Peters, as I was saying, building a bit of a comfortable lead, if I can say so. And let's hope I don't put on a commentator's curse, but Guillaume and Taalman are still battling it out, as well as Baba trying to find connection again. And then for that P5, there's also still a battle ongoing. I think we see a couple of back markers already in the mix.
Yeah, because of that first corner crash, some people jumped the pit lane, and that's why they are now in front of the leaders. Unfortunately. Also,
Just to spice things up a bit, Ronald.
And Erik Crispin is also coming into pit lane, apparently.
Don't really see anything on the car.
No.
But there aren't any mandatory pit stops in this format. So if a car comes in, then definitely it's because something is wrong. Now we see Baba, if we're looking at the times, pushing hard, and he has to. The 28.1. That's a bit faster than the leaders.
Yeah, so indeed, no, this is still the replay of Renzo going into pit lane, but this is what happened before.
Yeah, it was in going into that chicane. I think he took too much curb.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then just lost it completely. Oh. Luckily, the other guys can dodge it, and you have to get on with it as quickly as possible. But you see the pack swarming, and then he gets hit.
One of the Boutzen cars as well. Yeah, that's scary moments for sure.
Oh, and then another spinner in the triple chicane there as well, which he gets hit by. So probably yeah, out of mechanical issues on the car because of that contact, that we don't see Lembroek anymore in our top 5. Meanwhile, Thalman is also putting on the pressure on Guillaume. He really wants that second place, and then comes back into play what Ronald mentioned at the beginning of this race. What do you do? Do you go for that certainty of that P3 and try to defend the position from Baba? Or do you go a bit aggressive, or maybe very aggressive, and try to take that second place? Do you just wait for an error or a mistake by Guillaume? Yeah, what would you do in that position, Ronald?
I'm an old man, so I probably be patient. Have patience, probably. Also, a nice battle between Hermans and Bolle, also very close to each other. Half a second between those two. Yeah, and if you look at the names, then you can see the faster cars from Heat 1 and Heat 2 being close to each other at the moment. So so far that is working out quite nicely. Still have to wait what happened to the consolation race, unfortunately, but that's something we will sort out later on. We also have said in briefing to the drivers, look, it's the first time. This could become a little bit of a hectic evening, so just go along, follow along, and we will sort things out after the race and make sure everything is okay. Once we create standings and stuff.
And the field is settling down a bit, huh? Again, like you mentioned before, the dust has settled. In the back, we see a bit of battling between Gerrits and Roels. I think they swapped position a couple of times already. So there they are pretty close to each other. But in the front of the field, it seems like everybody's just waiting for a mistake to happen by the other driver to then capitalize on that and try to take a position.
Yeah, we're close to the halfway point, so it's in a lot of races there's a little bit of a moment where everybody just tries to figure out, okay, what's my pace regarding to others? Can I attack still? Can I push myself, or am I taking too much risks? What's going on actually behind me, in front of me? Do I push and risk stuff, or just do I consolidate and try to keep my place? And there are other people coming into pit lane because we could hear the sound.
Yeah, we have Jonas Roels and Mathieu Molle who came into the pits, and probably because of an incident as well, maybe. But they will be falling back through the fields. Of course, keep in mind that we also have that incident point limit, which may also be in play here, because Roels and Molle now left the pits again. So maybe they just had a bit of too much of contact or off tracks, and that they had to serve that drive-through indeed. But yeah, Baba and Taalman moving a bit closer. Guillaume currently with the fastest lap at 28.06. But Peters with a 28.09, so they're not really getting closer. And as I say that, we have a 27.8 by Peters, just to make a statement that he is indeed worthy of that P1. And it's up to the rest of the field to try and catch him.
Yeah, and it's so hard to overtake, because the pace of the, let's say, first 5-6 cars is so close to each other. They are within half a second, more or less. So you cannot make any mistakes. So you have to keep the focus on. You have to perform every lap, and then even that part is already very hard. So just keeping the focus, putting down very fast laps, and then you're not even thinking about overtaking, because that's on another level again. So that's going to complicate stuff even more. So it's very nice to see that these guys just put down the laps, lap after lap, and putting in the times and just making almost no mistakes. And it makes it so hard to overtake, although we do have an overtake.
And Guillaume into the pit lane.
Yeah. So
that's probably as well because of off tracks, which are so easy to get on this circuit, Zolder. Which means
and this is what happened to Lucas Taalman. So, small mistake as well. That's probably a slowdown as well. And that gives Aaron Baba the opportunity to overtake and take back the third position.
And in the back, we also had some, we see Guillaume here coming into the pits.
That's probably
that drive-through penalty. Going straight on. And because of that large speed discrepancy, we get a notification that somebody has gone off track, but well, not really.
I'm just wondering, it's not going to be a pit stop. I'm just going to check out this replay to see if it's indeed a drive-through, because that's very well possible, of course. 10 incidents is not that much if you're pushing real hard. Yeah, it's just a drive-through, so that's very painful. And while we, Aaron Baba is in P2 now, of course, because Guillaume dropped away.
Yeah, we're still looking at the replay, but in the back there's also been some movement. I've seen here in the chat Anton telling me that the Roels actually was the AM leader. And remember that the Roels, and I think it was Molle, who had their drive-through penalty as well. Was it because of racing too hard and a bit of contact, or just pushing the lines a bit too much? But Roels lost his position as an AM lead, and Dillins, he's the one to take the AM lead right now, so he's doing some golden business here, as we say in Belgium, and he will be taking the lead for, maybe he can keep that lead for the remainder of the race, the remaining 12 minutes.
Yeah, and we also saw Cedric Boller coming into pit lane, I think, so maybe also another drive-through as well. That means that everybody is pushing really hard and just being on the limit, sometimes over the limit, picking up incident points off tracks, and that's going to hurt. Once you hit that 10 points threshold, then it's into the pit lane for a drive-through. And with the way this field, because you're so close to each other, it's really painful because you will lose a lot of places if you have to serve a drive-through.
And that means that we've lost a bit of our battles in the front. As you can see, no gaps really lighting up. Le Guin is close, but for our top 3 right now, it's a bit stabilized. And then Philippars does have to defend hard from Lavagnini. And Van Ganze, don't forget him, because he's also moving up towards that back of the pink car. Maybe it's interesting, as we're calming down a bit, to have a look at some of the best climbers. We have Maxime Roobroek, who gained 12 positions, Delforge with 14 positions, Le Guin with 13 positions gained, and Verstraeten with 16 positions gained. So that's massive by these guys. They're doing really good. They're taking the opportunity to score some really good points, which may be crucial later in the season.
Yeah, and you can see now that Florent Guillaume and Cedric Boller are very close to each other as well. They were running in front in top 6, but had a drive-through, but they're now close to each other, midfield. So this will become interesting as well. That's Søren. Yeah, that's, I believe, that went around. Yes. It was a red car, so I think... Let's have a look what happened. I don't think there was any contact up front. He just loses it, I think. Yeah. Oh, and then...
Wow.
Major evasive action by Guillaume.
But well done. Well done by
indeed.
Guillaume. That's a race ender right there.
Let's go back to the live feed at front of the pack, where we have still Vince Peters leading.
We have, Ronald, we have another AM lead switch maybe, because the Lins is also in the pits again.
Yeah.
And that will allow Rules and Molle to take back their original positions. And that means these guys, with only 4/10 to separate them, are fighting for our AM lead right now with only 8 minutes to go. So I'm very, very excited to see whether Rules can keep on the pressure or withstand the pressure from Molle, as in the front. Peters is having a field day and drives another fastest lap of the day. These guys also scrapping for P8, and then going back to Bolle. Guillaume, who Bolle placing an attack on Guillaume, and Guillaume was running in P2 at the beginning of this race, if I'm correctly.
Yeah, it was up front indeed. So,
but also Cedric Bolle was as well, because Guillaume lost 8 positions, but Bolle also lost 6.
Yeah, there's also Benjamin de Pape running in P5, so that's he's a very solid driver as well, not making many mistakes, and that pays off if you stay out of trouble, and then stuff happens in front of you. You get freebies, as they say, so you get free places because other people make mistakes, pick up a drive-through, and then you just gradually go up the order. Also, Kenny Hermans is putting down a very strong performance, running in P4. He was also racing at the front of the field in his heat, and now showing us that that wasn't just luck, but it's just pure skill. Not that we ever doubted that, but it confirms his pace in the heat, that he's now also running in the top 5. So definitely confirming the pace he had in the first race. And same goes for Lucas Taalman as well.
Yeah, and it is very close in general if we're looking at the best times. Vince being a bit ahead of the pack maybe because he's the only one driving in with the best lap of a 27, the rest being a 28 and higher. But still, overall, the race pace is very equal. And maybe...
As you can see, like Aurélien, he's staying close to Erin Baba. He's a lap down because I think it was his car that got also involved when Renzo had his mistake, and then up the hill there was some contact with one of the Boutsen cars, so it could be this one. But he's keeping up with Arendt at the moment, so he's staying close. So that means that he can. He's also one of the drivers that can be fighting for the positions in the top 5.
Yeah, and it may just be that he was stuck in the pack. Let's not forget that if you are on a track like Zolder, and we also have Olten on the calendar, where qualifying is oh so important because there's so little overtaking opportunities. The differences between these cars are so minor that it's really hard to overtake. So it's not because he's in a lower position that he doesn't have the pace to match, for example, a Baba. So yeah, qualifying is oh so important in these kind of tracks, I think.
Yeah, and I'm trying to find where. Yeah, okay, got it. Because indeed there was a switch in the AM class as well, and we see Mathieu Molle taking over the position of Jonas Rules fighting back, but Molle has got the inside, and then he just takes the position and is able to pull away.
Oh, these guys aren't finished. Okay, never mind. That's between a pro and an AM.
Yeah.
I wanted to say these guys aren't finished yet, but strong race by Molle, definitely, and Rules not that far off. So maybe these 2 or these 3 guys maybe are guys to watch in the AM class for the remainder of the season, because let's not forget, as you said, Ronald, they have to battle these pros to get in this heat format or in this feature race. So I think there may even be a couple of pros who did not make the cut. So yeah, they definitely, it's not because they are in AM that they are much slower than these pros.
No, everybody is quite close to each other. I'm just going to have a look at another replay. Okay, that's just Yuri Crispin coming into pit lane, because yeah, he was also running in P5, I believe, in his heat. Trying to find out what happened to him actually. But unfortunately nothing is showing in the incident list. So we go back live, and then let's have a look again at the front of the pack. So let's go through the standings because we're close to the end of the race. Vince Peters. I think I've been saying Peters all the evening
I've
so far.
also had
But
the same issue.
yeah,
No
but
worries.
Vince Peters leading, followed by Eren Baba and Lucas Taalman, and then we have Kenny Hermans, who is not that far off, but being close to one of the back markers, so sketchy. And in P5 we have Benjamin de Pape. And then there's a close battle going on between the... Oh, too close. That's too close. Somebody was looking for room or trying to get room where there was no room. Was not quite sure what happened there. The camera angle wasn't very clear, but it all went wrong. Yeah, I think somebody... Yeah, I can't judge it like this from the shot we had.
Yeah, maybe a bit of a squeeze coming out of that hill section. Trying not to give any room, maybe defending the inside, what happened there. But anyways, we're speculating there. So
yeah, it was just very hard to see. We just saw the last part of it, so
exactly.
Very hard
We'll see
to
if
judge.
we have time. But right now we are looking at Peters, who I think can be pretty sure of winning this first feature race of our FIA Formula 4 Championship, the Belgian Championship at least. As he's getting out of the final, the final hairpin, let's say, going towards Jackie X. And the back markers getting out of the way. But we know our first winner. And our first winner drives for Visceral Esports. And his name is Vince Peters with a dominating performance all day long, all evening long. But let's not forget about Eren Baba, who also was massively fast inside our feature races and here as well. And then Taalman completing the podium, followed by Kenny Hermans.
Yeah, solid 5th place for Benjamin de Pape, and looks like he's happy with that P5 as well, as he's weaving across the finish line. Next we have Maxime Robroek and Jonathan Delforge. Sacha Gourlet also in P8, crossing the finish line. Next up we have Florent Guillaume, followed by Jelle Verstraete and Cedric Bolle. Gilles Philippaerts, also Flemish Sim Sports, taking the checkered flag. And then P13 we have Søren Gerrits, who is one of the nice result, by the way. He was in front or in top 10, I believe, in the first in the heats, so also confirming his pace. Next we have Jiri Crispijn, close to the wall as he takes the checkered flag. Matthias Lores and Mathieu Mol taking the AM win, followed by Jasper Schoonakers. And I think that we have everybody at the finish at the moment. Let's see if we can get up some results. So there you go.
We have our first winner, of course, which we already mentioned. Vince Peters for Visceral Esports will be taking the win for our first round at Circuit Zolder for the Belgian F4 Championship for the FIA Motorsport Games as the main prize. Then Eren Baba finishing 7.5 seconds from Vince Peters, but I think he also had that incident, so that time doesn't really do him much good. He had a very good pace. Lucas Taalman taking a third position to complete our podium. And then going through the order, we have Hermans de Pape, Robroek, Delforge, Gorley, Guillaume, Verstraeten to finish our top 10. And then continue on, we have Bolle, Philippe Aerts, Crispin, Laurijs, and then our AM winner of the race for Auriga Racing, that's Molle. And Schooneckers will be taking P16 as a pro driver. Then Gerrits and Lavagnini, who will finish at P18 for Mercury Club Racing by MSS. Continuing on, we have Jonas Roels, who was leading the race as an AM lead, but then fell back a bit. So that's P19. Then we have Gimlevich for P20, finishing top 20, that is. And then Dillons for P21. Van Ganze, Le Guen with that incident in very late in the race. Mailleux, Gosses, Romano, Vernier, and Verbert having a very early incident and sadly not finishing this race at Zolder.
Yeah,
and apologies, we do have two more. The TNFs I did not see.
I had to dig them up a little bit, well. But they are still there, indeed.
Of course, we have Alenbroek as well, who had that incident. I think it was very, very early on, maybe even a lap 1 incident, lap 2 incident. And Colin from the Digitrax racing team also failing to make the finish, sadly. But it's only the first round, so I'm curious to see what happens further throughout the season. Ronald, what was your first impression of this first round at Zolder?
Well, the racing was spectacular, that's for sure. We saw some very nice battles in both the heat races as in this feature race. Unfortunately, I really have no idea why we didn't get a consolation race, so that's something we need to sort out. Although in the results, if I check it is showing actually in the live timing. There is a tab for consolation, so I have no idea why that didn't, as you can see. So not sure why there was no consolation race in iRacing, so that's definitely an issue we need to sort out, and we'll have to check how we can make this, set this right. But yeah, the racing was what I think very nice, clean starts. Although at the end of the grid we did have some issues, but nothing out of the nothing too, how should I say, no massive brain farts, pile up stuff. So in the front, the racing was absolutely clean, very nice, very hard as well. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and that's for sure.
I'm pretty sure plenty of our drivers enjoyed it as well. We'll have a look at how we do it with the consolation race, and we'll make sure that that doesn't happen in the future again, of course. We thank you for being here. Maybe we do still have some people in the interview room. I haven't checked yet. No, we do not. So for now, we do not have any interviews.
We do have somebody just joining. So let's have a quick chat with Lucas Taalman. Good evening, Lucas.
Hello.
So tell us about the races. How was it for you? You were always at the front of the field, fighting for position. Must have been intense.
Yeah, that was really, really intense. Like I just discovered the car like an hours ago, just before the race. So yeah, I struggled a little bit in quali, but yeah, just managed to finish P3 in the final. It's quite a good result. Yeah, we get points. That is the most important, and we are really looking into the next one.
Yeah, so you're quite new to iRacing as well, or not?
No, no, no.
No, just
Just
a car.
new. Yeah, just with
Yeah.
the F4.
Okay.
Did you
Yeah.
drive any open wheelers on iRacing before this, or is it a completely new division for you coming into this championship?
No, that's a completely new vision, and it's quite good, interesting. That's different battle, different pace, and yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I need to discover a bit more to try to get the win, but yeah, I will do my best.
Yeah, well,
Well,
it was looking already very nice seeing you race out there, and indeed, it's not easy. It's a very strong field with people with some very high I rating as well. So yeah, you definitely have to work hard to be in the top three. So that's what you did tonight. So congratulations on that podium finish. It was nice to see you race, and yeah, hope to see you next race as well.
Great, and see you next race, guys, and yeah, I will try to do my best next.
Okay,
best of luck,
perfect.
Lucas.
Yes, have a
Thank
good
you. Bye.
evening.
Good
Goodbye.
evening. Good evening. Bye.
Yeah, that's it for the racers
Yep.
who came into our interview room. So I just wanted to say before you noticed that again, you notice these things. I don't. I'm just a blabbermouth, and you are the guy with the eyes. No, that as a message towards the drivers, don't forget that we love to talk to you and have a bit of your opinion. Definitely for the podium finishers. So you're always welcome to come say hi in the commentary booth, maybe next race. But I thank you all for watching. And it's very cliche, but don't forget to subscribe to our channel for future races. We don't only do these Belgian F4 Championship races, but we have a plethora of other races as well, which may interest you in joining as well. But thank you for watching, and as the drivers, thank you for driving. Ronald, I thank you for being here with me. But maybe you also want to say a few words.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you to all the drivers for joining the championship. Thank you to all the partners like KGL and IMB, and also RACB, of course, for supporting the championship. And thank you to Simon Heck for helping out with all the organization and the administration and stuff like that. And thank you, Thomas, as well for helping out with the commentating. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, maybe that's interesting for the people. When was the next race? I'm having a quick scroll here, but maybe
That will
you do
be
know it by heart.
in 2 weeks. We have the next race, and that is on it's 2 weeks, the 7th of May actually. So it will be Alton Park. It's an old school circuit, an old school track, and we will run the international configuration, but without the silly chicanes. So it's high speed all the way.
Whoever made up that chicane should be yeah, I'm not gonna say that out loud because we may get canceled. Great, thank you all for watching.